Coming up, Putin announces Russia's operation in Ukraine is far from over. A suspect has been named in a New York City subway shooting, and the FTC is investigating an NFL team. All this and more starting now on PS News. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jamie Bruce.
And I'm Jeffrey Koff. Let's take a look at stories from around the world.
Ukraine may soon get more assistance from the United States. According to an announcement expected Wednesday, additional military assistance is earmarked for Ukraine as it fights against the Russian invasion of the country. Although the total price tag of the package was not finalized as of Tuesday night, it will reportedly be around $700 million. President Biden will reportedly use drawdown authority to get the plan approved. The presidential drawdown authority gives the president the right to authorize an immediate transfer from U.S. stocks due to an unforeseen emergency without approval from Congress. Since the start of the Biden administration, it's given Ukraine nearly $3 billion, most of which came after the Kremlin siege. Also on Wednesday, two sources say the Pentagon is holding a meeting with high-profile weapon producers about the industry's capacity to support Ukraine.
Joining many other companies, Nokia has announced its exit from Russia over President Vladimir Putin's attacks on Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ericsson is putting its business in Russia on hold indefinitely. The moves by the two telecom giants cast doubt on Russia's ability to build super-fast 5G networks. Their departure leaves China's Huawei as the only top three global provider of 5G networks still active in the country. Severe sanctions on Russia by Western nations have included restrictions on advanced technology. However, Western leaders believe it is also necessary on humanitarian grounds to keep telecom networks functioning so Russians can access information from abroad. Nokia said it would, quote, aim to provide the necessary support to maintain the networks, and was working to ensure compliance with sanctions.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced Tuesday on Telegram that Viktor Medvedchuk, a pro-Russian Ukrainian politician and oligarch, had been detained in a, quote, special operation. Zelensky posted a photo of a handcuffed and disheveled-looking Medvedchuk wearing fatigues. Prior to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, he had faced allegations of treason in Ukraine and had been under house arrest. His whereabouts had been unknown in the weeks following the invasion. He was sanctioned by the U.S. in 2014, quote, for threatening the peace, security, stability, sovereignty, or territorial integrity of Ukraine and for undermining Ukraine's democratic institutions and processes. CNN was not immediately able to reach a legal representative for him.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin says talks with Ukraine are at, quote, a dead end, and that military operations will continue. That came in a presser after meeting with the Belarusian president on Tuesday. Here is what he had to say.
Now, security requirements are one thing, and the issues of regulating relations over Crimea, Sevastopol, and Donbass are taken out of the scope of these agreements. That is, we have again returned to a dead-end situation for ourselves and for all of us. The military operation will continue until it's fully completed and the objectives that were set at the beginning of this operation are achieved.
COVID-19's grip on the globe is on a downward trend. The number of new cases dropped 24% last week, according to the latest update from the World Health Organization. Officials there also say the deaths related to the virus fell 18% during that same time frame. Decreases were reported in all 6 of the WHO's regions, with the European and Western Pacific areas seeing the greatest declines. As of April 10th, more than 496 million cases were confirmed worldwide. More than 6 million of them turned out to be fatal.
Coming up, a look at the weather near you. Stay with us.
is a club built on providing SUNY Plattsburgh students the ability to meet up in order to play and try out various tabletop games, with Dungeons & Dragons holding a major focus. This club offers various different D&D campaigns and games for experienced or new players to participate in and play to their heart's content. Come on down and enjoy this new world filled with mystery, adventure, and fun. Now, let's roll for initiative.
Welcome back. Now, it was raining earlier, but it looks like it is finally drying up. Let's take a look at the weather near you. Now, for Thursday, it looks like we're going back to that rainy weather with the temperature of 64. And then on Friday, the sun comes back with the temp of 63, and it seems that on this week, it is going down. 50 for Saturday with the rain coming back, and with Sunday, cloudy, sunny with the temperature of 48. And with Monday, 52, cloudy coming back. And that's all for the weather. We'll be right back after the break.
Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the stream was Hercules to fight the rising tide? Isn't there a white light upon the fiery steam? Late at night I toss and I turn and I dream of white light. I need a hero.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at some news closer to home. A manhunt is underway for the man who opened fire on a New York City subway train Tuesday morning that left at least 10 people shot. Law enforcement officials have gone from identifying a person of interest to naming him a suspect. Karen Kuifa is in Brooklyn, New York, with the latest on the investigation.
The 62-year-old man who the NYPD named as a person of interest yesterday is now the suspect in this attack that took place on a Brooklyn subway train yesterday during rush hour. Frank James is now considered the suspect in the attack, and a manhunt is underway. New York police have officially named a suspect in Tuesday's subway shooting, 62-year-old Frank James. They say he rented this U-Haul van found in Brooklyn Tuesday. Officials say keys to the van were found at the scene of the attack. Company records obtained by CNN show the van was rented by James on April 11th in Philadelphia using a Wisconsin license. The NYPD says James had addresses in Philadelphia and in Wisconsin.
We're going to catch this person, and we're going to bring him to justice and hold him responsible for this horrific act on innocent people that are utilizing our subway system.
The NYPD said a suspect opened smoke grenades on the train and fired his gun 33 times, striking at least 10 people before the train stopped and stunned passengers escaped to the platform of the 36th Street station.
I heard people saying, I'm hurt. There's so much blood. Hearing things like that, that's when my mind changed to this is not fireworks.
As the investigation continues, more victims describe their harrowing ride and how quickly things turned dangerous.
This pregnant lady was yelling, "I'm pregnant, help." Everybody was pushing. I'm thinking it's just a smoke bomb. I grab her from the back so she don't get shot in the back. She was pregnant. A lot of people kept rushing, and that's when I got shot in the leg.
And the 36th Street subway station reopened to passengers during the overnight hours. And in these morning hours, it's been very busy with passengers coming and going, of course, with the NYPD watching over them. This is a working class neighborhood where a lot of people rely on the subways to get them to and from where they need to go. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said he's confident this suspect will be caught. In Brooklyn, New York, I'm Karen Kaifa.
President Biden says he is grateful for first responders after reports of the subway attack in New York City surfaced. This is what the president had to say.
And we're grateful for all the first responders who jumped into action, including civilians who didn't hesitate to help their fellow passengers and try to shield them. My team has been in touch with Mayor Adams and New York's police commissioner, and the Department of Justice and the FBI are working closely with the NYPD on the ground. We're going to continue to stay in close contact with New York authorities, and as we learn more about the situation over the coming hours and days.
The Trump family doesn't want to sit for test positions. And next month, they'll square off with the New York Attorney General's office on the matter. The AG's office is pursuing a civil investigation into the Trump Organization's finances, alleging misleading statements and omissions were made to their benefit. So on May 11th, each side will get 15 minutes to make their case in a New York appeals court. The Attorney General wants the testimony of former President Donald Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump, saying they're essential to this investigation. The Trump's attorney will argue the depositions would undermine the Trump's constitutional rights, something a New York State judge shot down in February. Coming up, an NFL team is being investigated. Stay with us.
Hard work, dedication, communication.
I'm sorry if I made you laugh more by
and one another.
I can be a part of something bigger than myself. Hard work and dedication. I wouldn't be where I am without Chad.
Going in every day, working hard, looking to improve. There are going to be good and bad days, but making sure you can overcome that.
Being there for your teammates.
Finding your limit and then wanting to do better than that.
Dedication. It means family.
Fun.
Dedication.
Hey again, I'm Marcel Gibbs. Let's take a look at what's going on in the world of New York sports. A legendary horse trainer will be sidelined for the first 2 legs of the 2022 Triple Crown. Bob Bayford was suspended from the Preakness Stakes on Tuesday, according to the Maryland Racing Commission. The 69-year-old Hall of Famer had already been prevented from having a horse in the Kentucky Derby, which is scheduled for May 7th. Earlier this year, Baffert was suspended by the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission after his horse Medina Spirit's Derby win was overturned due to a failing drug test. Baffert appealed the decision, but it was denied, and the suspension went into effect on April 4th. The Preakness is being held on May 21st. Congress has asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate an NFL team. The House Committee on Oversight Reform says it's found information in documents that shows a possible pattern of concerning business practices within the Washington Commanders organization. The committee sent a letter to the Federal Trade Commission asking it to review evidence collected by the Congress during its investigation into the Commanders' workplace culture. The letter says the team's owner, Daniel Snyder, may have taken a part in unlawful financial conduct that may impacted thousands of fans in the NFL. The spokesperson for the Washington Commanders says that the team denies the allegations and will continue to cooperate with the investigation. American golfer Scotty Scheffler took the green jacket at the 2022 Masters in Augusta Sunday. Scheffler finished at 10 under par, winning his first Masters, having stayed at the top of the leaderboard since Friday's second round. The 25-year-old Texan is on a hot streak for 2022, having won 4 tournaments already this year to become the world's top-ranked golfer. Scheffler has 3 PGA Tour wins as well as the championship in the World Golf Match Play Tournament, but the Masters is his first major. Northern Ireland Maurice McIlroy finished behind him in second after shooting the low round of the day, a sizzling 64. Tiger Woods walked off the 18th hole at Augusta to a standing ovation, despite tying his record for his worst round ever in Augusta. For Woods, the personal triumph was just being able to be competitive at all after suffering a serious leg injury in a car crash in February 2021. Woods did have a good news for golfer fans on Sunday, announcing he has plans to play the 150th Opening Championship at St. Andrews in Scotland in July. That's all I got for sports. Back to the desk with Jamie and Jeff.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for tonight. To stay up to date, be sure to follow PSTV and PS News on social media at Plattsburgh State TV.
On behalf of our crew, thank you for watching us. Have a good night. Good night, Plattsburgh.